168-mile-per-hour winds, 608 deaths. How many of you can say that you survived a Category 5 hurricane? In October of 2016, Hurricane Matthew hit my home country as one of the deadliest hurricanes to ever make landfall in the Bahamas. I was 14 years old at the time, and I can still vividly remember the grave impacts this storm had on my people. Ultimately, this storm showed me two things: the power of a strong community and how fortunate and blessed I am. Today, I'm going to be sharing this story with you by showing you how I prepared for the storm, going through the actual storm, and lastly, the recovery process. It all seemed like a regular Monday afternoon. I was sitting in my afternoon homeroom class with my friends when my homeroom teacher at the time, Ms. Anderson, walked into the classroom and told us that we were going to be dismissed early to our parents to prepare for the upcoming hurricane. To be completely honest, my friends and I did not panic one bit. Actually, we were quite happy because this meant that we were going to be missing a whole entire week of school due to some light rain and winds. At least, that's what we thought. So I left the classroom extremely happy and excited to get on my impromptu break, and I saw my mom waiting for me in the parking lot. I should have known the storm was going to be serious because my mom always picked me up late from school. We immediately went to the food store, and to our surprise, everything was wiped off the shelves. We were fortunate enough to get some last-minute goods from a family friend, which included water, canned goods, and bread. To add to the travesty, there was no more gasoline left at any gas stations on the island, which meant that our generator was only going to power us for a short duration of the storm. By this time, the electricity had been shut off to all locations on the island as a safety precaution. The following morning, my mom decided that it would be best to go and stay in a hotel because it would be much safer than staying at home. I packed a bag of about 3 days' worth of clothes and said a temporary goodbye to my house. When I got to the hotel, I immediately obtained a sense of comfort. Nearly all of my friends and their families were staying in this hotel. There was buffets everywhere, tons of electricity, an indoor pool. I couldn't be happier. So this ultimately distracted me from what actually was going on. As I went to bed, I remember hearing the monstrous howls of wind and the palm trees slapping against the windows. I knew things were about to get real. The entire next day was spent observing the impacts of the hurricane from the inside of the hotel. All we could see was gray skies, monstrous howls of wind. Everyone just wanted to know what was happening on the outside. We anxiously waited for the storm to pass. Finally, the storm passed about a day later. My mom and I decided that it would be best to take a walk around the hotel property to observe the damages that were being done. When we walked outside, it was nearly impossible to walk through the once lustrous trails of the Atlantis Resort. We then decided it would be best to go home. The drive home was a drive that I will never forget. Every gas station that we passed had a collapsed roof. Homes and businesses were completely destroyed. There were large trees blocking almost every road. Tons of floods. My island was completely devastated from Hurricane Matthew. When we finally got home, we walked into even further chaos. I just remember seeing all of the furniture in my living room and my foyer floating. Basically, what had happened is that a roof leak and a cracked window allowed tons of water to get into the house. And my mom was extremely upset because she just had bought these couches about 2 weeks ago. However, it took about 2 weeks for everything to resume back to normal. It took approximately a week for our electricity to come back on, and as a 14-year-old, I almost strangled myself for having no Wi-Fi for an entire week. We temporarily relocated to another house while our house was getting repairs from the damages caused by the storm. I was just amazed to see how the community worked together in light of such a dark situation. People who had access to heavy equipment cleared up all the debris in the road before any government officials did. People who had extra room immediately gave shelter to those who did not have. And almost everybody donated food, water, and clothing to those who had been left with nothing. Almost 3 years later, I reflect on this hurricane a lot. This really showed me how fortunate I am, because so many people had no choice but to battle the hurricane in their unsafe homes. As humans, we tend to take life for granted. This experience reminds me daily that everything can be taken away with the eye of the hurricane. Thank you.
What did you think?
I think my speech had some good content. I think it was different from the rest of the speeches. I think I projected my voice well. Didn't use any fillers. I would critique myself for kind of pacing back a little bit. And of course, like glancing at my notes, but I want to make sure I hit everything. But that's what I think about it.
Okay. Well, everything you said, yeah, it's true. The more you move forward, by the way, the harder it is to look at the corners.
Really?
Yeah, because you started missing the right corner. It was harder for you to turn and look. If you move back further, it's easier to look at the audience. So the more you move this way, this side you caught, this side you started ignoring a little bit, even though you tried to keep turning and looking. Sorry, Hannah, nothing to do with
And I
you.
tried to give you some love. I'm sorry, it's not.
It was just more effort to turn and look. I'd say step back a little bit, don't move up as close, just for the audience scan primarily. So you're wearing jeans with holes in them?
Okay, I knew you were gonna pull that rule because my grandparents do it a lot. However, you know, I'm kind of running out of interview attire for this class, so I don't really go shopping for professional clothes, you know.
Yeah.
So I kind of try to put it together. It's just my knees. Like, what is my knees doing?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, not interview attire though.
Not even a blazer?
The blazer's good. I like it, but the pants, no. Yeah, that didn't work. I'm just giving you an FYI.
Okay.
Yeah, just nice blue jeans would be good, but
You can
not
send me
that.
some blue jeans in a package. I would greatly appreciate it.
But intro and conclusion, yeah, it's intro's got everything. The conclusion's good and it's put together well. So yeah, your eyes are down about 3 times while you're talking, and it doesn't take much just to finish the thought, then go down and get it and come back up. And so work on that. And yeah, for the first time you come up to this point and you do start doing this a little bit. And I'm sitting there going, why are you doing that? All you do is walk a little bit. And that's easy for you. You seem to feel very comfortable doing that. So I didn't know why you stood all of a sudden for about 3 minutes in one spot and just sat there. So I don't know. You can watch it and see what you think.
Anything good about my speech? Those are all negative things.
No. I said your intro and your body and your conclusion are good, but the delivery's a little off. So that's it.
Okay.
Now get some sleep.
Okay.
Let me have your cards. All right, Demi, you're up.